Good morning, and welcome to your AI Daily Press morning podcast for July 9th, 2025. Firstly, tensions in the Middle East remain high as speculation surrounds Iran's potential development of a dirty bomb. Experts caution that while the possibility cannot be ruled out, it's crucial to consider the broader context and motivations behind Iran's actions. The international community continues to monitor Iran's nuclear activities with caution and nuance. In another part of the world, the BRICS summit concluded with a call for less confrontation in global affairs. The gathering of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, along with other emerging economies, emphasized the need for cooperation and development over conflict. However, President Trump responded to the summit by threatening additional tariffs on countries aligning themselves with what he perceives as anti-American policies. Lastly, we're following developments in the ongoing conflict between Israel and its neighbors, where diplomatic efforts are underway to reduce tensions. The situation remains volatile, with potential consequences for regional stability. These stories will continue to unfold, and will provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that global cooperation and dialogue are essential in navigating these complex geopolitical landscapes. That's all for this morning's podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the AI Daily Press. I'm Walter, and we'll see you again soon. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. I'm Barbara, your host. Today, we're covering several key stories from around the world. Firstly, we have updates on international trade, with the U.S. imposing new tariffs on Japan and South Korea. Our expert analyst, Dr. Rachel Kim, joins us to discuss the potential implications of these tariffs on the global economy and American consumers. In other news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with U.S. President Trump to discuss a possible Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal and Iran's nuclear program. We're also following developments in the Middle East, where French President Emmanuel Macron is meeting with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to address migration and defense issues. Additionally, we're reporting on the disturbing anti-government protests in Kenya, which resulted in at least 15 deaths and over 100 arrests. Lastly, we have a significant update on the conflict in Ukraine. The U.S. has reversed its decision to halt shipments of critical arms to the country, with plans to send more defensive weapons to help Ukraine protect itself against Russian aggression. We'll be diving deeper into these stories throughout the day. So now for the latest in business and finance. Here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, Apple has lost another high-profile executive from its artificial intelligence division, sparking concerns about the company's ability to compete in this rapidly evolving field. Meanwhile, Samsung is set to unveil its latest Galaxy portfolio, which is expected to draw significant attention from consumers and investors alike. In other news, the ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and other major economies continue to cast a shadow over global financial markets. Tariffs remain a major point of contention, leading to volatility in recent trading sessions. Experts warn that prolonged tariff disputes could have devastating consequences for the U.S. economy, with potential ripple effects felt across the globe. And finally, in a shocking move, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced plans to impose a 10% tariff on copper imports, sending shockwaves through the global metal markets. Copper futures in New York surged, with contracts on COMEX climbing as much as 8% all due. The move is likely to have significant implications for the global copper industry, particularly Chile, which is the world's largest copper producer and accounts for over 30% of total U.S. import volumes. We'll be keeping a close eye on these developments and providing updates throughout the day. That's all for now. Thank you for joining me on this morning's edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, and let's navigate the complexities of our ever-changing world together. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, Astronomers are abuzz with the possibility of pinpointing the location of a spacecraft in deep space, using a novel technique that relies on the stars themselves to create a cosmic map. The New Horizons team has successfully demonstrated this method, which could have far-reaching implications for future interstellar missions. Next, we're taking a stunning visual journey through the Small Magellanic Cloud, courtesy of the Hubble and James Webb Space Telescopes. These telescopes have captured breathtaking side-by-side views of two open star clusters, offering a unique glimpse into the formation and evolution of stars. Lastly, we're exploring the mystery of a potential impact on Jupiter's moon Europa, which could have significant implications for our understanding of the moon's subsurface ocean and its potential for supporting life. These stories showcase human ingenuity, curiosity, and collaboration in pushing the boundaries of our understanding of the universe. Tune in to our podcast for in-depth discussions and analysis of these exciting developments. That's all for now. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the cosmos. Until next time, keep looking up at those stars and wondering what secrets they hold. Now, for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Today, we're bringing you a brief summary of our top stories. First off, the college football world is abuzz with uncertainty as the future of the CFP hangs in the balance. With high stakes and intense negotiations underway, one thing is clear: the outcome will have far-reaching implications for teams and fans alike. In other news, contract disputes are never more pronounced than when it comes to the NFL. The Washington Commanders are facing a daunting decision regarding star receiver Terry McLaurin's contract, with legendary quarterback Joe Theismann weighing in on the situation. As we've seen time and time again, paying top talent is essential for success on and off the field. And finally, shifting gears to the world of motorsports, Denny Hamlin has taken the top spot in our NASCAR Cup Series power rankings after a thrilling comeback at the Chicago Street Course. Meanwhile, Shane Van Gisbergen's victory has sparked debate about his potential return to NASCAR, and Tyler Reddick's recent performances have raised eyebrows. That's all for now, folks. Stay ahead of the curve with the AIDailyPress, and we'll see you on the track. This is Howard Closewell speaking. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Currell.
Thank you, Howard. First, in a shocking turn of events, an Australian court has convicted a woman of murdering her two children after a trial that lasted several months. The case drew widespread attention due to its disturbing nature and the complexities surrounding the mother's mental health. Next, Greece has temporarily shut down the iconic Acropolis due to a severe heat wave sweeping across Europe. The closure is aimed at protecting visitors from the extreme temperatures, which have reached record-breaking highs in some areas. Despite the challenges posed by the heat wave, locals are finding ways to adapt and come together as a community. Lastly, a severe heat wave continues to grip Europe, with Italy being particularly affected. Temperatures have soared above 40 degrees Celsius in some regions, leaving residents and tourists seeking refuge in the shade. However, amidst the challenges, there's a sense of resilience and community that's palpable, as people come together to support each other and find ways to thrive. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges faced by communities around the world, from the devastating consequences of mental health issues to the impact of climate change on our daily lives. We'll continue to follow these stories and bring you updates as more information becomes available. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on the AIDailyPress Morning Podcast. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. We've got a jam-packed show for you today, so let's dive right in. First up, we're talking music. Gracie Ventura's ex, Sean Diddy Combs, has been found guilty of charges related to an incident involving her. This verdict has sent shockwaves through the industry, and many are calling for greater accountability and change. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops. In other news, the one and only David Bowie is still breaking records even years after his passing. His compilation album Legacy has just reached 300 weeks on the UK's official albums chart. That's right, folks, 300 weeks. It's a testament to his enduring appeal and timeless style. And finally, we're shining the spotlight on Gracie Ventura, who's been making waves with her ex, Sean Diddy Combs. But we're also talking about another star who's still got it going on, Gracie's fellow musician. No, just kidding. We're actually talking about David Bowie and his legacy. All this, and more on today's show. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's get started. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here's David Atenacha.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, a recent study highlights the devastating impact of climate change on coral reefs, with predictions suggesting a decline of up to 70% by 2100 if emissions aren't drastically reduced. Despite the grim outlook, researchers emphasize the importance of continued conservation efforts and reducing greenhouse gas emissions to minimize biodiversity loss. In another article, we're encouraged to rethink our relationship with pests, moving away from knee-jerk reactions and towards a more empathetic and curious approach. Animal-human interaction specialist Bethany Brookshire suggests that by understanding the intricate dynamics between humans and wildlife, we can develop more effective and humane strategies for coexisting with unwanted creatures. Lastly, a study on forest ecosystems reveals the alarming rate of deforestation and habitat destruction, leading to a decline in biodiversity and ecosystem resilience. The research underscores the need for urgent action to protect these vital ecosystems and preserve the long-term health of our planet. These articles remind us that our actions have significant consequences for the natural world, and it's essential we adopt a more holistic perspective when addressing environmental challenges. We'll be exploring these topics in more depth throughout the week, and that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Atenacha for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.